Professor Straube. My name is Daniel Rendón. I came here presenting ABC Ladenbaugh in this project we made in mixed reality over the last few months. So first, who are we? ABC Ladenbaugh is a firm with more than 26 experts, 150 years of experience in interior design, and over 1,400 projects of interior design experiences. Really well-known brands from Germany we are working with them. We have also some clients for around Europe. About me, I am Daniel Rendón. I have a master's degree here in TH Rosenheim, like Professor stated. I also have a bachelor's degree in mechatronics in Mexico, in Universidad Autónoma de Nuevo León. And I forgot to say, my master thesis under Professor Straube was in manufacturing and AI, and how you can create an assistance that will support you throughout your career in manufacturing. Also, I have 6 years experience as quality and design engineer in the home appliances, back in the USA, Mexico, and here in Germany, ESH. And nowadays, I am software developer for ABC. On the personal side, my hobbies are climbing. That's me on the highest peak on Mexico. Looks like I'm having fun, but I'm actually really tired. And this was actually one of the reasons why I choose Aldebaran as my home, because here I can experience the Alps and I can continue climbing like I used to do back home. Many of you might not know, but my town in Mexico is called the King of the Mountains. So here I feel really at home in all the Alps. My other hobbies is video game development, something I've been doing since I got my first laptop more than 10 years ago. And I continue doing it today, but now I get paid for it. And it's some virtual reality, which I've been doing for 3 years. My first interaction in virtual reality was with Professor Straube here, which got my first dip into professional tools for developing these experiences. First with Blender, where we developed an avatar of a professor to teach or to present the projects to new students, not the projects, the study program to new students. Then we decided, hey, we can make this with AI. And we enter into Unity, one of the most well-known game design programs. And we developed one, AI Andreas, which you could talk about. Then I started working with ABC, and right there they use Unreal Engine because, well, not only in my opinion, but on their opinion, this is the best game engine to develop experiences due to the quality and fidelity of the graphics you can create with Unreal Engine. To this day, I think it's the best one. And now you would think, how is interior design and virtual reality connected? Well, for more than 10 years now, Meta has tried to show virtual reality into us, kind of like Apple did with the iPhone. They really want to sell these devices to us and get a lot of money, which has produced some well-known apps like Archeo, which I know is used in TH Rosenheim in architecture in one of their modules. And I've used these two apps. They're pretty good, but they're only virtual. And if they have a mixed reality option, it's really limited or more like a caveat more than a really well-done product. Also in ABC, we have one only virtual reality program before I arrived, which I think is pretty good, but it's not what I think it should be done. I think virtual reality should only be for gamers and really well-thought experiences, because normal customers can get lost into so much immersion. The normal person really needs to see the real world, in my opinion. Now I'll show you a little bit of what we have in ABC, just with virtual reality, which is basically a demonstration for clients of how their design is going to look once it's built, before it's built. As you can see, the Unreal Engine has really good visual fidelity. But the interaction is limited. We have some options like changing maybe the floor or the walls. You can change the texture so it's different. This is useful if you want to show your clients how you can have different kinds of design for walls or floors. But if you really want to plan your bakery from the start, I think you need something from the ground up, which is, I think, where augmented reality finds its usefulness. Now, these are the problems I find with virtual reality and actuality. Complex menus. You probably have experienced this before. You try to touch something and your finger touches more than one button and it never does what you want. Terrible graphics, which is really funny, being that Facebook is one of the 10 most valuable companies in the world. They have graphics that remind me of Nintendo 64 when I was 5 years old, more than 25 years ago. And it's dangerous for beginners. If you put them into a world they've never seen before, outside the real world, they'll probably have an accident at some point. Also, I think controllers should stay on the realm of gamers, not for the normal users. And also Archeo, for the ones who have used it, has really simple shapes like cubes with flat colors. I don't find that pretty. I find that's really ugly. But before I tell you how we solve these problems, I want to tell you a little bit about the history and what is mixed reality. Well, mixed reality is a continuum between the real world where we live in and the virtual reality you see in video games and movies like Ready Player One, where you have augmented reality, where you have mostly the real world with some stuff on the virtual world. And then you have augmented virtuality, where you have mostly virtual, but you have access to something from the real world. The best case for this I've seen is with Meta's new update, where if you have a keyboard in front of you, this will open and you can see where you're typing. This is really useful. To be honest, it's the only case I've seen augmented virtuality being used in a good way.
I have another example for that. The early times of VR was when you had those cave systems, so computer screens which would display the virtual world and you would be standing in it, so you could see yourself or other people, but the rest will be all virtual. But yeah, it's a really rare case of augmented virtuality.
Yeah.
Good example.
It's really useful when you're coding. And yeah, virtual reality is basically, for me, video games. Now, the history of augmented reality across the years. This is the first known case of AR system, according to many people. It's by Ivan Sutherland, and it's the ultimate display. You could see a basic 3D environment over the real world. I never really got to see it. Maybe, Professor?
I showed it in the lecture. This on the left, upper left, this is a video on YouTube. You can see there's a cube. You only see the edges of the cube as a 3D element, so it's pretty limited what they could show at the time. But there was no PC in 1960s, rather than standard operating like monitor and keyboard. So very impressive what they were able to do at the time.
With mainframes, basically.
Right.
And then on the 80s and 90s, we have the US military using them for training or for head-up displays on fighter jets. Normally you can see maybe the compass to see if you're going north, south, east, or west, like you see in movies. And in the early 2000s, one I remember really well is the Game Boy camera. I mean, it's not real-time mapping like we have now, but it's one of the earliest for normal customers, where you can take a photo and interact maybe with Mario or something. It was pretty cool. I had it as a kid. And the modern cases is IKEA visualization, where you go to the IKEA website, select something, and maybe map it on your room so you know if it's the one you want, if it's the correct size, or the color. You can also use it in Amazon, it's similar. The most well-known case is again from Nintendo with Pokemon Go. I don't know if any of you have ever played that. Really fun, and you get to meet a lot of people, mostly on the English garden. And one that you can use here on Platz, I think it's called. What's the name of this Platz? Platz. It's the live view from Google Maps, where you're finding your route, and then you put your phone up, and you can see the name of all the buildings. It's really useful if you want to know the city. I used it once in Italy. Now, back to the problems I have with virtual reality. I want to tell you how I approach each and every one of them to create the ABC showroom. For the complex menus, we created really simple menus that can be hidden if they're not being used on your end. We used iconography instead of text. So kind of like when we jumped from Windows 97 to the iPhone, where everything was icons. And then I only use text, and it's super necessary. Like the name you use for your map, you want to take it again, that's the only case they use text for. Then again, if you want to see what each and every icon likes, you can hover over it and you will get a good description. I think, like Steve Jobs said, styluses and controllers should not be used for regular users. The best is your hands, because everybody has hands. So the whole app is designed to work just with your hands. For the immersion, and so you don't fall, this app is completely open air or pass-through, so you can use it outside and experience it in nature if you want. And for the graphics, all the assets we use are beautiful crafted that we have in ABC Laravel, so you don't have those ugly white blocks. Everything is really nice furniture. Now I want to show you a quick video before we go to the demo, presenting the product. That's my colleague Michael. So I think it's a really good product if you have a bakery and you want to fill your bread shelves. You can save your custom bread shelves with the order of bread you want. You can save maybe the loadout for summer, then for winter. You can, if you have many bakeries across the country, you can send them how they are supposed to put the shelves, and you can help your workers set them up with glasses. So I'll have the example of the augmented reality. Before the demo, do you have any questions?
Yeah, first we choose. Yeah, and I have a question. You probably remember from the lab the software Halo client, where you could set up a production environment to figure out on which table you want to do which task.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could also do a kind of a spaghetti map where you would perform all those tasks and you would be seeing how much running you're doing and how much interaction is going on in order to optimize your work rates. So I imagine that you could do the same in here. I don't know if you have thought about this, because I'm not an expert in layout from a bakery, but I assume that coming from McDonald's, they are so successful because they optimize their workspace so much that they reduced it to the minimum amount of seconds to be very efficient. And you could use it here in the virtual environment to arrange things so efficiently as possible.
That's really smart, and that's connected to my degree. It should be able to be connected, yeah.
I don't, this is also a question for you. I don't know if this is something bakeries are looking into, or are they more into the looks nice, but maybe optimization of so that the most common products are close together and that we don't have lots of ways and grabbing time is an issue they look into.
It's a very interesting issue, just because it's one of the most important topics during planning to optimize the workflows, the workarounds, just because it's very hard to find.
Yeah. And we could mix what you said with the presentation we had a month ago. I don't remember the name of this doctor. We could mix what you said with that, and you can set the bread on the VR world and then set the spaghetti route with her app. You know what?
By tracking, this is what Helpline is also doing. It's tracking the movements of the avatar.
Okay.
And it's producing the spaghetti diagram. You could also replay it. So you could take a look on our YouTube channel. Shriya did a video from an electro scooter assembly, and there we can also see that spaghetti diagram recording, and it's also checking for ergonomics.
Okay.
So if you have a lot of bending down topics, then the software will also highlight your time in red to give you some ergonomic tips, and then you could probably say, okay, don't put stuff which is frequently used at the bottom, put it further up.
Go again.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
More work.
I have one question. In your application, is it for single user or multiple users?
Single user.
Okay. Do you think about developing it further for multiple user?
We have the APK downloaded, but it's not our priority right now.
But it's basically possible.
Yeah, it's possible.
What's the pipeline that you use to get to this finished product? Like, do you have only the assets, the 3D models and everything, and you just import them inside Unreal Engine, or do you have to do any optimization for the assets that you have? Because the graphics can be so good before they start affecting the performance of the classes.
Yeah, we have a pipeline. So basically, the assets I have them from the architecture team, the inner architecture. I put them on Unreal, where I have a filter, which basically removes the texture, puts it on the size that Unreal wants it, and then puts it back. So basically, I created a filter that transforms from Vectorworks, which is our CAD program, to Unreal Engine.
So it will be like a mesh or something like
Yeah,
that?
it goes from, I don't remember the name of the file, but it transfers to Unreal Engine.
And will that also downgrade the quality of because I think the architecture team will have very nice looking models, and once you put it on the classes, it will be.
I think Unreal Engine has better.
It's not about Unreal Engine, it's about the classes themselves, how much they can handle.
Yeah, I mean, I have like a FPS counter to see if I'm maybe using way too much texture. If I am using too much texture on quality, then I can go back to the filter and reduce the quality of my meshes. Yeah, the filter I made it was made by HighCraft. You can alter how much quality and fidelity you want on your meshes. But that's a good question. Because we have the VR project, which obviously consumes a lot of data because it's a full map from a bakery. We have to really compress the meshes on that one. Well, on the augmented reality, since it's not a lot of meshes, we can use basically full quality.
And is that converter, which reduces the amount of triangles, kind of intelligent, so that let's say we have a table here, there could be two triangles, one like this, and another one. But the standard export might do the tabletop with, I don't know, 1,000 triangles. But then you have that round shape here, which cannot be just two triangles because it would be rectangular.
Mhm.
So depending on the radius, you should have a reduced reduction of triangles as one principle in intelligent reduction. Is that something which is done in your?
Yeah, it's not something I did. It's sometimes included on the Unreal Engine, but yeah, it's into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have any other questions?
Okay.
Then we can,
We can go to the demo.
yeah, talk to them.